is part of the inventory, where there's time for a smoke and coffee, while a slow pace completes the story. There's no harm in making sawdust, resulting in some craftsman's pride. Success and fails shared for all to see, while entertainment and learning collide. Not just sawdust, not just sawdust, not just sawdust. And fails shared for all to see, while entertainment and learning collide. Not just sawdust, not just sawdust, not just sawdust.
Hi, welcome back in the big mess that's called the workshop. I gathered all my old tools, my hand tools, from the boxes, and still missing a few things, but most of them are found. And I'm going to make some shelves in this cabinet to first put my hand planes. There's going to be 2 shelves with hand planes, so the wooden hand planes and all the Stanleys and everything. It's just a simple way of putting a plane in, putting a little piece of wood, and then put the next plane, and then slowly just getting them all lined up. There's going to be a steel bracket on this side, so because this is just particle board and this would bend, so there's going to be a steel corner on both sides, and then going to be put in the cabinet. Sorry for Otis, he's very crazy today. I don't know what's going on, but he needs a bit of attention. And I think there's a cat somewhere walking, so he's a bit barking. But I'm just going to go on, and you can, we'll see the result in the end. I guess that's all I can do for now. Yeah, let's cut some more stuff.
With an early morning caffeine level upgraded by 5 mugs of the fluent brown gold, with a spine stretched back into position, reduced movement compensating for being old, dog bowls filled with hormone-free chunks, my 4-legged friends are ready for the day. A morning cough cured with some smoky nicotine. Just one more coffee and I'll be on my way. Measuring twice using metrics, so that's easy. Always get it right the second time around. Cutting straight is just a case of skill and practice. It's a final fitting of those joints that actually counts. It's the smell of olive wood freshly cut into useful parts. It's to fix the unfixable, recycle some rusty stuff. No matter how much I like the odor of turpentine wax, all the time spent in the workshop will never be enough. Bit of puffing and groaning as I bend over to tie my steel-nosed shoes, laces, and stand up again. 57 steps away from the ultimate Mount Cave, the daily journey of a semi-pensioned creative man. Walking back again for the essential reading glasses, for else I can't see whether I hit a nail on its head. The smell of coffee invites me to reconsider, to go to the workshop or enjoy another mug instead. Measuring twice using metrics, so that's easy. Always get it right the second time around. Cutting straight is just a case of skill and practice. It's the final fitting of those joints that actually counts. It's the smell of olive wood freshly cut into useful parts. It's to fix the unfixable and recycle some rusty stuff. No matter how much I like the odor of turpentine wax, all the time spent in the workshop will never be enough.
you like the video content this great and confused Dutchman is producing, consider to become a patron at patreon.com. You will find exclusive updates from the Portuguese recycle and woodwork shop. Next to that, your small monthly contribution would make a huge difference in the making of these videos. The link to the Not Just Sawdust Patreon site is in the description below.
didn't make it to finish this in this video. It is really structural, but I've got to sand it a lot, clean it up. There's going to be another piece of this HDF floor stuff on top of this, so I can put some of the drills and small knives and chisels or whatever on it. And the way it works is that it's not stuck yet, but if I let's see if I can do this with one hand. If I push this forward, automatically the let's see if I can do this. I have to hold it here because it's not stuck yet. You see, it opens by itself. So, and then here's going to be my my soldering station in here. My soldering irons are going to be in here. There's going to be a socket here for soldering irons, and I've got some little stuff that like little screwdrivers is set that's going to go under here and other stuff. And the light is exactly where I need it above the workspace. So that's the idea, but I've got to, you know, sand everything, and then it's going to be painted. Well, the whole thing is going to be painted, but I don't have to do that, you know, in the video. But like I said, it's like now, I don't know, it's almost midnight, and I just stop, and it's not interesting to see me sanding and painting. So you'll see that in the next video when that's finished. I've got to make a nice little board across here. Like I said, this is going to be a little piece of this HDF, and then the rest is going to be painted. And I think that because the wall is blue on the OSB, so any visible OSB, like here, I am going to paint blue, and the rest is going to be in other colors. I have to find out what kind of paint I've got left. Maybe I mix something up to get to a grey or whatever. We'll see. We're not going to buy anything. It's all recycled stuff and all stuff that's already here. So, but yeah, sorry I didn't finish this, but at least when I have painted everything and smoothed everything out, because this should automatically fall down, but that will come when I've got everything tuned up. So for now I would say do some woodworking. It's a nice way to spend your time. Do some recycling. It's an even better way to spend your time, and well, you'll have to come back to the next video to see this whole cabinet finished, because we're going to do the doors with chisels and rasps and things like that. And then, so when everything's closed like this, it's all the old work hand tools. And then when you open it up, you got the soldering station here, and there's going to be all kinds of little parts from my recycled box guitars inside the cupboards. And when they open it, you've got like a kind of workstation to make the little instruments. So, see you in the next video. At the logo.